Today we're going to do something textural. We're going to do some abstract textile art, and I've already started this, but it's been inspired by a project that I've got ongoing at the moment, the yo-yo blanket, so making the little yo-yos. And I thought to myself the other day when I was helping my daughter with her homework, I've got my coffee here, hope you have too, I thought, what if I made some yo-yos using some very, very soft fabrics, maybe some woolen fabrics in textures that I wouldn't ordinarily think of to use for yo-yos, because I've used cotton in the past, and I thought, you know what, I wonder what it would be like. Would they be too bulky? What would they feel like? So I got out my little stash and I started to make a few little yo-yos just to see what they would look like. And this is what I did. And I've made myself a little panel. I had this crochet, yes it is, I'm sure it's crochet, and I think it must have been a collar perhaps from a cardigan or something like that. And all I've done is just pop the items that I made on here. Now that I'm going to use this to stitch them down, because I thought this gorgeous steel grey colour was absolutely yummy. And these are the yo-yos that I made. I started off with this one, which is from a felted woolen jumper, and I've actually turned it so this is the inside of the jumper, not the outside, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's so squishy but quite firm at the same time, so it's got some texture to it. It's just lovely, really nice, and it was absolutely lovely to do as well because it's felted. It didn't fray, and it was really nice and easy to use. I also use this cheap, I think it's an acrylic fine knit jumper that somebody gave me donkeys years ago, and I've been slowly using it in various projects. And that's the inside. So this is you can see how if you turn your woolens the wrong way round, you get a completely different effect to the other side. So I love that. I love that you can get two looks from one fabric. So that was that one. So that's I think it's acrylic yarn rather than polyester. Pretty sure it is, but I don't actually have the care label, so I can't tell you for definite. Then this one here is actually, throwing it. The problem is with dry hands, you tend to sort of snag on fine materials. So this is actually a cashmere wool, and this is again from a sweater, because I do regularly upcycle woolen sweaters, and cashmere is one of my favourites because it's like the softest, most luxurious fabric you could really get other than silk, and it goes beautifully with silk. And obviously it's very expensive, but if you buy second-hand jumpers on eBay and Vinted, you can find yourself some bargains. If it's got lots of holes in it, that's absolutely fantastic because you don't mind cutting it up then, and then you can use it for lots of other different things. So definitely I love cashmere. Obviously I wouldn't buy it new. I have done in the past, but it's not something that I would buy now. And I think, you know, there are certain animal welfare implications of that. So I only buy second-hand cashmere that is destined for the bin, effectively. And then I use this, which is a satin fabric, and you've probably seen me use this before if you've seen any of my videos using my embellishing machine, because this textures up so beautifully under the multi-needles, because it sort of puckers and it just makes the most amazing texture. But I absolutely love satin anyway, because it's got that lovely soft feel to it. It's cheap as chips, this stuff is. It's not silk. You can get, you know, a metre of it for probably, you know, less than a £5, I would think. So it's pretty cheap, and it just adds that sort of luxurious look, and the contrast to the fibrous woolen items I just think is so gorgeous. So they're the little yo-yos that I made, and I just arranged them on this little panel, and all I've done is, it's not really a blanket stitch, it's sort of a semi-blanket stitch, but I was trying to just do it as organically as possible. I didn't mind if the stitches were irregular lengths. I sort of skipped bits and left the tails on just to make it look a bit more organic, as it were, just a little bit messier, because I wanted that look. I wanted it to look a little bit different. And then I'm going to assemble those on there, and I'm considering whether to use this as a, this is just some lovely, I think it might be merino wool yarn. It could even be acrylic yarn, to be honest with you. I can't tell. It feels quite natural, but it could be acrylic because it is quite soft. But it's almost, it's like unwoven itself, and I got this in a set that I got from Etsy. Unfortunately, the lady doesn't sell them anymore. But I'm sure you could get something similar. You can probably pick this up anywhere, to be honest with you. If you do knitting, you probably know all about these things. I don't knit. I just buy yarn when I think it looks cute, and I would use it on a textile piece because I like to add a bit of texture and a bit of colour using different materials. So I'm considering where to put this, and I thought I would finish this today. I'm just going to add a few stitches and just to put these items down, and then consider what I'm going to add around it, maybe a few beads or crystals or something like that. And I thought you might like to see it and whether it inspires you to do something similar, because I've certainly had a lot of comments about the yo-yos. People have been enjoying making their yo-yos. Well, you know, don't just stick to your regular cotton and polycotton fabrics. You know, experiment, because some of these have just come out so beautifully. One tip with these yo-yos, I wanted to make a very tight closure. So ordinarily there's almost like there's puckering, and you get a tiny hole in the middle of it, but I wanted to close some of these and see how tight I could make that closure. So I've gone round in the usual stitching way, pulled it tight, and then I've gone round again a few more times and really pulled it tight to make it very tight on that centre, so that I got a slightly different look. And I think those have worked out beautifully. So I've really secured those. I've used a polyester thread for those so that they're nice and tight and nice and strong. And I think they've turned out lovely. I really enjoyed making them. And it was a quick project to do while I was helping my daughter with her homework. I say helping, I've said this before, I don't really help with the homework very much. I just sit there and I provide emotional support. So I'm like one of those emotional support animals. I just happen to be in the room if she needs to let off steam or to ask a question, then I am there, but I don't really help a lot. Homework is beyond me, I'm afraid. Now it got beyond me as soon as she went to secondary school. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm just going to finish that up, and I just wanted to share it with you really to see what you thought. And I'm going to add a few stitches now, and I'll show you the finished article. And I hope you're doing well, and if you are, leave me a comment. It would be lovely to hear from you. And if you've enjoyed this video and you like to see these little things, then, you know, just let me know that you're enjoying it and that you might make something similar. And remember to give me a thumbs up, because that does help my video. Feel free to share it if you would like. And I will see you in the next one. So take care. Bye.